Alright, hi everyone. So this is Amanda from Our Life on a Marquee, and if you can tell, I got a video camera. It's an early Mother's Day present, so I'm very excited. Alright, so today's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to take you through my daughter's baby album, and then show you how I don't do Project Life, but I do a form of it, or I'm using it as part of her baby album to simplify the process. Because what I started doing was like doing all these crazy layouts, and then I got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have 12 baby albums for her first year if I don't stop. So I'm in the process of taking out those layouts, some of them, and putting them into our normal family layout, and then I'll show you the approach that I'm doing. So this is going to be a two-part video. The first part showing you her album, and then the second part actually working on a spread, a monthly spread, and you'll see what I mean. So this is just a standard faux leather We Are Memory Keepers scrapbook. I got the pink because she's a girl. Not that you have to have pink, but I just liked it. And then I'm gonna have to do this taking them out. So this was the first page, and you can see that I used a design A, and I have a title card with her name and some butterflies stitched on. Over here is her weight and her length and the time she was born, and then the day she was born, and just some pictures from her first year photo shoot, or her newborn photo shoot. And then on the back side, I just kind of used it as a what am I trying to say? Like a title card, and it says waiting on baby and the date. And then I have different pictures with embellishments on it, pictures in the hospital. This was all before she was born, and the people, that her grandparents, her aunt, and my sister and my niece that were there. And then some journaling. So over here, this layout will actually stay in the book. I have her newborn cap that she had, or that she they put on when she was born, and I just put it down into an 8.5 by 11 page protector, cut it down, and sewed it. This is her birth story, and I don't know if you can see it, but I stitched all these lines on there, and then I wrote the story on there. So this one will definitely stay on. This one will definitely stay on because it's a story about her dad, and just something that if you didn't know him well, really extremely well, you wouldn't know about the emotion behind this picture, but we know about it. This is one of her newborn pictures, and I just stuck it on some cardstock. Her footprints, her first well check at the doctor's office, and where she was percentile wise. Just some more information about that. All this stuff will stay in. I got this idea from Allie Edwards, and it's a shirt that, it's actually 19 to 26 pounds, so she could barely wear this now, but they give it to us at the doctor's office when I took her for, I guess, my 6-week checkup, and it's got the doctor's name, and so I just stuck it in there with some binder clips. And then this is a design, what is this, G page protector, and this is all about her. It has her hospital bracelets, my hospital bracelets. This is pretty cool. Whenever people would come and visit, we actually had them guess, because we didn't know what the sex was. So we had them guess the sex, the weight, the length, and what time they thought she would be born. And my mother-in-law got it dead on. 7 pounds, 20 ounces. She didn't get the time right because I ended up having to have a C-section. And the funny thing about that is my daughter's born on her birthday, so that's kind of cool. But these are her bilirubin glasses. Picture of her under the lights to get her bilirubin levels down, and then just some journaling about it. On the back, some more pictures. I put a gift card in there. This is cut from my silhouette. I think that's it is Allie Edwards. So yeah, first bath. This is a layout, and I will have to take it out to show you. But I used Heidi Swapp's, oh gosh, I can't even think of what they're called. I have no idea, but where it's like a portfolio thing and all the pictures are stacked. And so this was everyone meeting her for the first time, grandparents and aunts and uncles and friends, and it's layered down in there. So this will definitely stay in her album because that's important to her. her doctor, the layout about her doctor, so that's going to stay in there. All of her grandparents, her grandmas, 3 generations of grandmas were there, so family, these will probably stay in there as well. This one will stay in there the time that we went home. This actually opens up. And now we're into the layouts that won't stay. So I'm just going to flip through these and show you what I am working on. So every month I wrote her a letter, and I either put it on my blog or I just completely forgot to publish it. And, sorry about that, and stuck it in a folder on my desktop. So this will all be taken out and moved over to a thing, and this is where I'm at. So what I do is I take her first, like this is month 1, her picture, and I did a layout. And then I'm gonna skip this so you don't see it yet. On this side, I do coordinating layout with the letter, very basic things. And in the middle, I decided to do a month in review. So like this, if you were looking at the album laid out, I have, let's move it over. I have the picture and then the month in review. And the month in review is using a Design A page protector. And I just put, I kind of treat it like Project Life. I put pictures from her month that are important. Her tummy time, she was visiting daddy at work, softball game, right here. I'm trying to figure this out right there. Another picture that I wanted to include. And then on the reverse side, pictures from when family came to visit and whatever. So instead of having to do a layout for each of these things that I wanted to include, I can put them all in here. It goes right in the middle of the page. And then instead of having 12 layouts per month, I have 1, 2, 3. And it's much simpler. So again, skipping, these are all going to be coming out. Now this is month 2, and this is the one that I'm actually going to be working on today with you guys. So this is her, let me take it out so you can see. This is her 2-month layout. Oh my gosh, sorry. And then this is, I've already got the photos in there, I just need to do the embellishing, but this is the month in review. I actually have an insert. This is the design I, and it's 4x4 because she met a lot of different family members. We went camping, and I wanted to include that. And then this is the right hand side with the letter and something else. So it's a slow go process, but this has definitely made it simpler. So yeah, so I'm going to stop the video and gather some supplies, and we're going to be working on these 2 things. And from this point on, it's going to be a voiceover, and I'm going to speed it up so that you don't get stuck just listening to me ramble. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy. Maybe it get, oh, one last thing. In the back of this one, I actually have her 3-month done. I just don't have the letter done. I used the Becky Higgins, the big envelopes, and I'll link it down below. But I keep all the extra stuff in here, like her first Reds games, things that I might want to scrapbook later, but until I get there, it's all stuck in right here. So if I never get there, that's fine. And I definitely will probably have 2 albums for her first year, but that's fine. And pretty soon I'm going to be working on another one. So yeah. All right, well, I'm going to stop it, and we'll get started back in just a second. All right, bye. All right, so here you see me pulling out and going through all of the different embellishments and letter stickers and other cutesy things that I think I might add to this divided page protector layout for my daughter's baby album. You see lots of stickers, some flat stickers, some Dear Lizzie stickers, some die cuts, some washi tape over on the left hand side. I've got that black and white doodlebug twine, sticker books, just all kinds of things. Enamel dots, of course. I pulled out just anything that I thought I might could use that would bring in inspiration. I think I'm gonna, yeah, I've got that gold star washi, the green arrow, and then a pink polka dot. So that was a die cut that I cut out a long time ago, and I sped this up pretty quickly because if not, it was going to be over an hour long, and that's just crazy. I definitely cannot talk for an hour. There you see that one, oh gosh, I can't even remember, design something, design. It's one of the Becky Higgins page protectors. and it holds 4x4 photos. And I had some pictures of my daughter with some of my aunts, so her great aunts, and then one of my cousins from this trip that we took when she was just a couple months old, and I wanted to put that in there. And so I just cut them down to I cut them down to 4x4 size, and I could slide them in there. Here I'm cutting my pictures down because I actually forgot to do that whenever I printed them. I meant to print them with a border and I forgot. So I think I took about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch off each side. I'm playing around with them a little bit because I want to be able to add pattern paper and things behind them. And with them being the full 4x6 size, I couldn't do that. So I'm just going through and cutting the edges off around so that I can achieve that look with the different pattern papers. The two pattern papers the lines that I used were the 6x6 pads from Lucky Charm and Yes Please. And I may have pulled in like 1 or 2 other pages from my stash, but for the background pages, that was mostly the ones that I chose to use. So I'm still just trimming my pictures down. That picture was of one of her first smiles. And then you have like, it wasn't her first bath, obviously, but when she was still small enough that we could bathe her in the bathroom sink. It seems like it wasn't that long ago that she was that small. Now here she is 13 months old. So this was a little bit of everything. It was a very exciting month. She had her first camping trip with my parents, and it was our first Mother's Day and my nephew's graduation, and just a lot of fun things. Also, one of her great-grandpa's, or her only great-grandpa's, birthday party. And so she got to see her cousin for the first time, one of her other cousins. She went shopping at Lowe's for the first time. She started sitting in her bumbo seat for very short amounts of time. It was a very exciting thing, and that's what I really like about doing my album in this way, is that I can kind of get all those things in one without having to create 12 different layouts. And then if I choose to go in and use some of the same photos for layouts later, I can, and then I can just add those into our normal album. So I'm going through those two 6x6 pads, and I'm just simply pulling out anything that gives me inspiration. So you can see a bunch of different things there. Got lots of teals and pinks and grays and yellows. I just pulled out anything that I thought I might use. And then I start sticking it down, figuring out where I want, what I want to go where. That pink ledger paper was actually not from one of those 6x6 pads. It's one of those things that I pulled in and added later. Just playing around with things. Use that yellow heart pattern paper down there in the bottom. I'm finding that most of the layouts from her album are very, very cheery and bright, which is nice because a lot of my layouts in my family albums are that way too, but then I try to do masculine pages for my husband and my nephews and things like that. So I have a wide variety, and whenever I do her album, I just feel like I can go all out and be girly and not have to, I don't know, apologize to anyone for all the pink. Not that I would anyway, but it's just kind of nice. So I swapped out those papers because that, you can see down at the bottom there's a watercolor effect to that tag, or it wasn't even a tag, it was a cut apart sheet. And I liked the way that it picked out some of the colors in that photo a little bit better. It just kind of clashed with the photo on the top. And I cut down that photo a little bit smaller. And I found a tag, a floral tag that I really liked from another cut apart sheet, a journaling spot. So I add that there. That was actually the branding strip from one of the pieces of paper. And I love that it says love you more, so I thought I would just attach it down there at the bottom. Kind of brings in the yellows from the other papers, but in a small way. Have another thing from that same cut apart, and that's actually an older line, just within the last 1 or 2 years. I think last year, but I'm not sure what it was. These are, I think I already showed. Those, but they were something that I bought whenever I began her scrapbook because I knew that they would have all those girly baby things like first bath, first smile. So those are always a go-to. Sorry if I'm sniffly. I feel like I'm getting a cold. I'm trying to fight it off because I got way too much stuff to do to be getting sick. I'm attaching that down there at the bottom. And here in just a second, I'm going to look up and realize, oh my goodness, my battery is dead. This is actually the first thing that I filmed with my new camera. So I wasn't aware of the fact that there wasn't going to be a beeping or an alarm saying I'm about to die. So you see me fiddling with this, and then I come back and a little bit more of it's done. There we go. So I added in that to the moon and back. I added the stickers to the flower, her in the shopping cart thing. Just some other embellishments. Down at the bottom, wood veneer potty people with First Mother's Day and a little bird. That To the Moon and Back was actually from the Project Life Studio Calico kit. And I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one. I actually stopped subscribing after the first couple months because I wasn't doing Project Life anymore, so it was a waste of, money for me. But, so, again, that was something that I border punched a long time ago, and it was just in my stash. And I thought that it complemented the colors really well, so I stuck that on there. Up at the top of that ledger paper, and that's going to become my title card. So I'm using those Julie Bean Soup letter stickers that came in my Cocoa Daisy kit. And I'm just going to put month in review. Playing around with them a little bit. So this is a great way while I'm working on that. I actually had to make an E because I was out of an E. But this is a great way if you are like me and there's times when you're just flooded with inspiration and you wish that you would have continued Project Life, but then you just know that it wasn't your scrapbooking style, but you still miss it. I'm peeling those back off for some reason, and I don't remember why. Oh, I think because I didn't want to have to make an E. But I'm putting them back on. Oh, I decided to do lowercase instead of uppercase. But anyway, it kind of gives you your Project Life fix without having to make a weekly commitment to doing it or a monthly commitment to doing it. Because this was only, I think, her second month. So, I mean, I'm way behind, but I can do it when I'm in the mood and I don't feel like I'm behind because she's not going to care about this album till she's, I don't know, a few years younger anyway. So I can work on it as I get to it, and I don't know, it just works for me. I'm really enjoying the way that it's coming together. These are the Amy Tan stickers. I love, love, love them. So I'm spelling out the word month with those. I haven't used them as much as I thought that I would. And it's not because I don't like them. It's just for some reason I haven't been in I don't know, they just haven't worked on some of my other layouts, or they haven't been exactly what I've wanted when I've been doing them. But I really like how it picked up those colors. And the N is from those, the Snap collection letters. And I'm going to have to buy some more of those because I love them, and I'm almost out already of some of the colors. So now I'm working on the back page, and I'm just doing the same thing. I'm going through and matching up pattern papers. I stuck that Instagram photo down on a Studio Calico Project Life card. Same thing, just cutting papers down. At this point I was running out of some of the papers that I had picked, and some of them didn't. I think it was the Dear Lizzie doesn't come with multiple sheets of the same paper, so I'm really having to stretch it to make it work. Looking to see if any of those, that one says so, what does it say? So sad but so cute, I think. And she just was not happy. She wasn't a big crier when she was a baby at all. I mean, she cried when she was hungry, and that was about it. So to see her looking like that was a rare occasion. So I'm having to add in a few more papers, a few more pages, and that's okay. Again, I'm going for the pink. That's a label. I don't remember exactly. I think it's twine and ink, maybe. That's where those labels come from. It's just yellow. It's a little bit brighter of a yellow than the papers are, but it was subtle enough that it wasn't like overkill. Got some of those jelly bean soup, the tiny alphas. I think that's what they're called. I may have just made that up. I really like them. They can just sometimes be a pain to work with. And I couldn't find my paper piercer, which is what I usually use to pick them up because I don't have tweezers. Oh, I grabbed my scissors. I'm just spelling out bath time. The dots for the eyes, those are always the ones that gets me. Bath time still to this day is one of her favorite times. We can go into the bathroom and turn the water on, and she starts like stomping her feet and giggling and laughing, and she cracks us up. She loves bath time. I'm a little bit out of frame down there, but I'm just still trying to figure out where I can put pictures with papers. And this is the way that my scrap desk normally looks, especially whenever I'm doing a very involved project like this. It gets to the point where I've got so many things out that I can't even find anything. And I actually had to close up my trimmer. I have the Fiskars Precision Trimmer, which folds out, but I had it folded up because I knew that I wasn't going to need like the whole length, which I think later on I do end up having to open it back up because I do end up needing the 6-inch, which is on the other side of the, where it's like right in the middle of the, where it closes, the hinged part. But if you could see on the other side of that, you would be like, oh my goodness, because it is a mess. I decided to use that little gray tag from the Amy Tan 6x6 pattern. Maybe it's not gray. Nope, I don't use a gray one. I use the other one. And I just stick that down at the bottom, and it says documented, and then there was a little camera that I put up above it to bring in that blue color. And so as I finish with them, I just slide them into the pockets and know that I'm done with them. That again was the bottom of one of the pages from the 6x6 pad, and I loved the arrow and the color, so I just stuck it behind that one, and it's a very, or stuck it on top of, it's a very subtle accent, but it works. I cut it into a little banner shape and pulled in some of those other colors, and it worked just fine. And then I think I used the white, those are basic gray letters, those white little letter stickers to say your bumbo, I think is what I say. And she loved that thing too. Sorry about my dog. It's the middle of the afternoon, and she likes to get up in the window and bark at things. Usually I do my voiceovers at night because she's asleep and quiet, but today I knew this was the only chance I'd have, so hopefully she'll be quiet and it's not getting on your nerves too much. I used that ombre washi tape, and I think it did come in a Studio Calico kit last year, and I used it to create my own journaling tag instead of trying to find a patterned paper, and I love the colors and how it turned out. And then I think I just used one of my flare buttons that say hello today, possibly. And at first I was going to use a brad, and the brad was too small. So I go to my little wood veneer flare organizer, and I find one. And I just stick it right in the middle. And it was very simple, very subtle, but I loved the effect that it gave. On her first month layout, I did a similar thing where I had a piece of vellum, and then I stuck a wood veneer potty person of a girl right in the middle, and that was all I did. Sometimes I'm finding simple is the best. Slide that in there. Rounding the corners. I got into the habit when I did Project Life of rounding the corners for everything, and I didn't even realize that I haven't rounded the corners on anything else except for the journaling cards that were already made, like from the Studio Calico kit. And then I did that one, but at that point I just didn't even care. Looking for another piece of paper. And I grabbed the blue one with the anchors on it because I didn't feel bad covering it up, because I knew I probably wouldn't use that anywhere else. And again, I'm grabbing another label and some of that gold washi tape. Cutting it down. And then I layered a yellow label over top of the blue, and I really like that layered look. And I'm just writing on here about how she would lay on her play mat for half an hour at a time and just play. Just look at things. So I'm going for my stamps. I think about adding a stamp somewhere. And then I do end up adding one, but I couldn't find one that I wanted. I was looking for something that said like month in review or this month, something like that, and I couldn't seem to find it because that bottom 4x6 slide is going to be like my month in review title, or not my title card, but where I list different things that happened during the month. And so I found a Cocoa Daisy stamp that's actually a potty person, which is fabulous because that's what I love. And then there were these banners. So I go to my Stampin' Up! Ink supply and I pull out, I think, 4 different colors. And I kind of do like a banner. So there's Pretty in Pink, Pool Party, Peach Parfait, and I have no idea what that last one was. That one was really fast. Primrose. I don't know. No, I don't know what it was. But, and so I'm just inking those up down there on a piece of scratch paper, just layering the colors a little bit. Some of the inking wasn't the greatest, but it works. And I put a little piece of washi tape over some of the more uneven spots. But I like the way that it turned out. So I'm using my stamp press, my Fisker stamp press, and I am stamping up that little girl potty person. And I stamp her once and I realize that I didn't do a very good job. So I go back in and I do it twice and it smudges a little bit. It's not perfect, but you know, it it's handmade. It's not supposed to always look perfect. So I left it the way that it was, and then I added that gold washi to just kind of cover up some of my mistakes, but to also bring that yellow, it's not gold, it's yellow, but the yellow color into that card as well. I have no idea what I'm doing right here. Possibly cutting more of that gold. Yeah, I did. And it just says love you, and I banner cut the ends. So I'm sliding that one in because the ink is dried. Whenever I'm writing on those tags, I always give the ink a little bit of time to dry because you never know if it's dry or not until you slide it into the page protector and it smudges. So I just give it a little bit of time. I'm putting my stamps away now, cleaning up as I go a little bit. And then I think I start, yeah, I stick that banner up there and I just write on there. Do I write it or do I use stickers? Yeah. And I just put highlights from the month. And then I go in and I write about the camping trip and my nephew's graduation and meeting her cousin and her bumbo and just all those things that I mentioned earlier, and I just kind of list them on there. And for it to be so simple, I really love the way that it turned out. I mean, all it was a little bit of stamping, you know, a strip of patterned paper, a strip of washi tape, and a label, and some handwriting, and you know, it was done. I'm just showing you what it looks like. And there's the full layout, and I do have photos to add to this, still photos, so I know that what I'm showing there is very quick, but I will add actual photographs to the end so you can see the detail a little bit more up close. And so this was really simple. I didn't do any embellishing to any of the photos. I stuck in a patterned paper at the top of that one and at the bottom of the other side, and you can see here in just a second I'm going to use the different letter stickers, and I think I say great aunts and cousins, just as a small title card. And then I also, on the other side, am just going to use a piece of plain patterned paper, cut it into 4x4 squares, stick it in that spot, and call it done. Alright, sorry I had to stop the voiceover there. Oh, I do stick a label down. Alright, so I stick a label there, and now I'm going to come in with my different alphabets. And I guess I'm still looking for a little label sticker, probably to see if there's anything that would work for something else, but I do go in and just decide to use my stickers. And yeah, I just spell out great aunts and cousins. And then I do a little bit of hand journaling in that label. I'm just pulling in all the different colors from all the pattern papers because this will go on the front side of the insert, the full 12x12 divided insert, and so I want those colors to be able to be picked up automatically as soon as your eye looks at it, and then it carries over through both sides of the 12x12. Oh, I was writing out the word cousins to make sure that I didn't misspell it because that's something that I would totally do. Just talking about how excited they were to meet you for the first time, the day, or the month and the year. And then on this thing, on that last one, like I said, I just cut down another 4x4 piece of pattern paper, stick it on there, and that's it for that.